And Dr. Holcomb, I want to ask you a question as a follow-up, because I actually hear you loud and clear when you say that. But here's where I get concerned with complete lack of regulation. 30 grams, it says, and I don't even know what that means.
We don't know how much that is.
And I read the back, there's no dosing in this. I could go buy this at a convenience store, and it just says, do not use while operating a motor vehicle, machinery, if you're pregnant or nursing.
Can I speak to that?
And so this is what I get concerned with, is not people necessarily using it in a way that does help them, because clearly I don't want to take away from what Chris and Susan have experienced and your own particular path. But what I worry about is this. If I can go buy this, I have no idea what's in it, and I'm a kid or an adult, quite frankly, and I go pop a few of these, and I end up under the bridge.
I don't think anybody here is opposed to control and oversight or selling to people under 18. Regulation. So, but I think if you go backwards instead of forwards, you're going to have people buying illicit substances that are more dangerous, and it's going to be counterproductive and dangerous.
I'm curious how far apart the two sides are, because, again, we're all hearing about this for the first time. If you're not involved in this, most people have never heard of it. Is the biggest battle regulation? Do you all believe in regulation?
I believe 100% that this needs to be regulated. I have a lot of experience in the supplement world. You know, I did a documentary, Bigger, Stronger, Faster. We went in and studied all these supplements.
So you acknowledge this could be dangerous and is dangerous being unregulated?
Not acknowledging it could be dangerous. It's great to get a documentary. I used to run supplements for the FDA, so that's a nice experience. These are all illegal products, and when they're making claims to treat addiction, to cure chronic pain, supplements don't do that. So the notion that they're accepting and embracing regulation is somewhat laughable when they're talking about addiction. They're talking about chronic pain. We have products like that in this country. They're called drugs. And you know what? And if the data is that compelling on Kratom working, then it's to your advantage to submit that data for review by the federal agencies that have that charge, and they can, you know, those are scientific experts that can say.
We're the head of the FDA, yet you just looked at it as a supplement.
Right, and it shouldn't be. It's not a supplement. When you're looking to treat pain, and again, even as a supplement, as a dietary supplement, there are requirements for safety that none of those companies, and those companies made considerable amounts of money, have invested in putting that forward. Everyone's hiding in the shadows. Why? If it's that great, wouldn't you come forward with it?
And I think it's worth pointing out the way supplements are regulated is that they're not supposed to make claims about treating disease.
Exactly.
So I think the difference is that you're talking about treating pain and treating depression, which are medical conditions
about
as opposed
manage these types of conditions. We're not talking about treating or curing.
That's still a disease claim by federal law.
We're talking about helping things. We're talking about this as improving our health and well-being.
And 15 people died from Kratom in the last 2 years.
15 have not. Absolutely.
We have psychosis as side effect in our detox in Arizona.
There have been 15 deaths.
Look into our detox.
Excuse me.
Every 2 months we get one client coming in. It's not a large amount. You know, we get 40 clients a month in our detox. It's not a large amount from Kratom.
Each one of those deaths had another drug involved.
We treat them the same as heroin or opiates. Come and witness that side. I hear what you're saying. I'm not completely disagreeing with what you're saying in your personal experience, but what I'm saying is we need more information.
Well, and that's why this debate is so compelling, because when you lack information, you're making guesses. And I feel like I'm up here on this stage, and I came into this debate completely open-minded, and I feel like I still need more information.
Correct.
Because I understand completely where you're coming from. I'm drawn to the arguments that if there's absolutely no formal studies out there, and we're just having people wing it, that scares me.
I think we can probably agree, at least from the medical side, that it sounds like there is potential. There's definitely possibly a nice role for this, but just it hasn't been adequately studied. We don't know the dosage. We don't know some of the other potential side effects, interactions, things that we like to know when we start to make claims.
Are any formal studies?
So I think she was starting to tell us about.
There have been studies at Ole Miss, at the University of Massachusetts. There are studies going on right now at Stanford University, at Columbia University.
They aren't adequate to get things in the food supply. Even things like this had to do really substantial. We're talking about replacing sugar. They're talking about replacing opium, heroin, Suboxone. So again, I think this is a food.
And we're told that they're okay, and now
that's a drug. That's not a food.
Called into question.
This country has laws. We generally try to follow them.
Well, we need a transition period if the framework doesn't allow for this. In medicine, supplement, anything you put in your mouth or your body, you're looking for some physiologic response. Whether you take an antacid, you take a laxative, you take Tylenol. But I think that sort of rigid approach is counterproductive, and I think you can't measure the lives that will be lost if you withdraw this.
So I want to ask the three of you, because addiction specialists and Daniel, you've spent so much time dealing with these types of issues. You have three individuals here whose lives have been, they say, improved, whether directly or indirectly, by using this. How do you move forward in a way that doesn't completely wreck their lives, get the studies, and if this does prove to be beneficial in some way, shape, or form, do it in the right way? Is there any path forward? Because that's where I'm not an expert, I'm not a regulator, I'm just a doctor.
There is a path forward, Travis, and it's pretty clear. It's outlined in the Food, Drug, Cosmetic Act. If you're going to sell as a supplement, one, you're not going to make these types of claims, and two, there are studies that need to be done. Those studies haven't been done. The companies selling the products haven't reinvested in the science to show that these side effects, there's clearly questions of harm here. So I think that given our structure, that we don't want to put it, just like 3 people have been helped, there have people been harmed. So if there's potential for harm, we owe it to not just 3 Americans, but all Americans to make sure that that potential isn't real. And that's the basis of our laws. And anyone who wants to sell a product should have to go through, there's no special exemption. My daughter also thinks that when I kiss her finger and she has a boo-boo, that it helps it heal. Well, my lips aren't getting approved by the FDA anytime soon, no matter how much she believes that.